Hey, Chin Chin, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here investigating your favorite albums. And today I'm going to be doing an album review on the new Joji album, Smithereens. So, Joji, George Miller, formerly known as Filthy Frank, Papa Franku, or Pink Guy, is back with a new album, Smithereens. Now, Joji has been one of the more interesting musical artists of the past few years because he is one of the rare occasions when a YouTuber successfully transitions into a musician without being laughed at all that much. And Joji, in fact, has already put out two albums prior to Smithereens. We have Ballads 1, which I have reviewed shortly after it came out, I believe, and I thought it was, it has some really great song ideas, but most part it was kind of rough and kind of underbaked. A couple years ago, he came out with the album Nectar, which I think is even better than Ballads 1. In fact, the track Run is amazing. It's one of my favorite songs of 2020. In fact, I think it landed at number 6 in my top 50 list, so that's a pretty huge deal. I mean, Run surprised me a lot. I love that song. And then a couple years later, we have Smithereens. And given the album cover and given that the album is only 24 minutes long, I was prepared to be underwhelmed. And yeah, that's pretty much what's happened in this album. A lot of the tracks here, if not all of the tracks here, are pretty underwhelming. I mean, don't get me wrong, we have some really awesome, well written tracks, like the album opener, Glimpse of Us. Glimpse of Us is a really powerfully beautiful ballad. We have some lyrics about a broken relationship because the main character is haunted by the memories of an ex. And yeah, I've heard a lot of songs about this sort of stuff with the similar subject matter, but the way Joji writes it, how, when I look into your eyes, I see a glimpse of us, referring to him and his ex, is quite beautifully haunting and really sad, especially with the very dejected performances and the vocal harmonies. It's just really well done. After that, we have the track Feeling Like the End, which is a 1 minute 42-second long trap pop track that sadly ends abruptly, but even so, I think this track is genuinely catchy and sweet. I mean, yeah, sure, it does kind of sound like Weird Fishes, but it still works. It still kind of slaps, I guess. And the next two tracks are also pretty good in my opinion. The track Die For You is a dreamy pop ballad with some atmospheric keyboards, a nostalgia chord progression. I love nostalgia chord progressions. I love the spacey 80s synths. It's really good. I also like the track Before the Day Is Over, which is a piano ballad with a vintage taste, with a vintage vibe. It's very moody. And also for some reason, pitched vocals from Joji sounds like James Blake. I almost thought James Blake is featured on this track. Honestly, it would be amazing to see Joji and James Blake collaborate. I hope it happens someday. Has it happened already? I don't think it has. It needs to happen. But anyways, the first disc of the album ends off with the track Dissolve, which is a very washed out acoustic ballad with a lot of auto-tune, and it's kind of goofy. And then from here on out, the album really goes downhill. Because if you don't know this, even though this album is only 24 minutes, it has two discs. It is separated into two discs. The first 5 tracks and the last 4 tracks, which are so damn short, I don't think it's even like 12 minutes, 11 minutes long. And the thing with the last 4 tracks is that we have a track, we have a demo, we have an interlude, and we have a freestyle. Why does this 2 even exist? Why is this even an album? It could have just been an EP. It feels like Joji only made this album just to meet label criteria. But anyways, disc 2 begins. We have Night Rider, and it's really half-baked. It's basically 2 minutes of moody trap beats and deadpan vocals. After that, we have Blahblahblah demo, which is a demo that's got nothing to offer. It's a really bland, basic guitar song with a very basic clapping beat. After that, we have Yukon interlude. Why does this album even have an interlude? I don't know. It's 2 minutes long. This album is 24 and a half minutes long. The interlude is 2 minutes long. So the interlude literally takes up 1/12 of this album's duration, which is actually quite a bit. But anyways, this track is kind of mid. It has some mid pianos, mid beats, and some deadpan vocals. And then the album ends off with 1 a.m. Freestyle, which is not really a freestyle. It's just another basic moody ballad slapped with a trap beat on top, and it's not even 2 minutes long. So yeah, it just ends off and it just doesn't sound like anything. So yeah, unfortunately, this new Joji album, Smithereens, is very underwhelming. It's very half-baked. It starts off strong. I wouldn't say it starts off super great, but at least it starts off with something, but it just sort of trails off from then. I'm giving the new Joji album, Smithereens, a strong 5 out of 10. Or light 5. Decent 5. Light 5. Yeah. So, have you listened to the new Joji album, Smithereens? From 1 to 10, I'm just rate it, like, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching.